merci pour belle invitation. Isa nous fit merci. Voilà tous nous. Isa nous fit merci pour belle invitation. Isa nous fit merci wale. Pour toujours dans cœur. Isa nous fit wale toujours été. Isa nous fit wale toujours été. Isa nous fit. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say hello and welcome. Welcome to another exciting edition of the program Ashford God Live on Bridge Radio Africa, Bridge Television Africa. Today is November the 30th, 2022, and we are coming your way from Lansdowne, PA, the city of brotherly love. And first off, folks, we want to give God the glory. Father God, we want to praise you, want to glorify you. Blessed be your holy name forever. We magnify your name. To you alone take all the glory. We exalt your holy name. We give you adoration. Father God, you have continued to do things that we don't ask you for. To that, we give you praise. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. Well, folks, in the name of Jesus, we have prayed. In the glorious name of Jesus, we have given thanks. This is yours truly, the brother who doesn't need any introduction, but I have to do it because that's for the platform's sake. Well, some call him the giant. Some call him the medicine of the microphone. This is Africa's media doobie-doo extraordinaire. Ashford the Giant, and now you know me call it. Welcome to Ashford God Live.
Don't put me in front of. Read my mic.
At this time, folks, again, welcome, and I have my co-host with me, Mrs. Letty Brooks Roberts, who will tell us a little bit about herself. Then she will give us some housekeeping rules tonight, just before we introduce our special guests. Mrs. Roberts, would you please unmute the microphone?
Good evening, Mr. Garley. How are you?
Well, I'm better than good, better than most. To God be the glory.
Amen. Well, I'm Letitia. Actually, I'm known as Letty Brooks Roberts on social media, for those of you that are friends with me. And I'm coming from the Garden State of New Jersey. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm an employed person. I'm a loving person. I'm a God-fearing person. And tonight I'm here to do the work of the people, to introduce Bridge Radio Africa to you, as we have a lot of goodies in store for you. May I proceed?
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay. I want to say good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Bridge Radio Africa with your host, Ashford, the Giant Garley. We are coming live to you from Bridge Television, also via Bridge Radio YouTube channel. Grab your popcorn, your dessert, your meal of choice, your drink of choice. Again, I am your co-host, Letitia Roberts. Here are a few house rules. Please be respectful of each other. Please be respectful of the host. Most importantly, please be respectful of our guests. What you write is just as important as what you say. So please be respectful. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Garley.
Thank you, Mrs. Roberts. And folks, We've got lots of goodies in store, like you rightly said. So I would join her to say, get your popcorn ready. What are you drinking tonight? I'm sipping in a bottle of water. And first of all, let me see if I can welcome a few friends here. I see the Frey Anzer, Eugene Harry, King Weir, Massa Ricks. I also see Lopu Ziga, J.S. Romeo K. Nabil,
Master
Justina
Choir.
Jojo H. Bestman, Abu Bebeto Fofana, Jared Dugley is on here as well. And we'll also see Mr. Charles Russell, a very supportive partner of British Radio Africa. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, listen, man, tough times don't last. Tough people do. The heart of a person is never known until he rises because there's no
Yeah.
second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone because you can't hide your nakedness from bathing bucket. When God bless you, don't see that medicine. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we introduce to you tonight our special guest, the Honorable Councillor Say Tiawan Gongloe.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the show, Council.
I'm here. Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be on the show for the first time.
I know, and it's an honor. Well, for the sake of the audience of this platform, you might just want to tell us a little bit about yourself. 2 minutes, sir.
Okay, I'm Tiawan Gongloe. I'm a lawyer by profession. I've been Solicitor General, Executive Assistant to the Interim President of Liberia, Dr. Sawyer, Minister of Labor, and I teach law, criminal law, criminal procedure, and human rights law at the Louis Atrogram School of Law, University of Liberia. And my father's name is Wilfred K. Gongloe is deceased. My mother, Elizabeth Gongloe, and I have so many siblings. One of them you know very well, a politician and journalist, Edith Gongloe White.
Okay, I'm told you
and then I'm married. So let me not leave my wife up before I get divorced tomorrow. My wife is beautiful, Sonia Kolako Gongloe, and I have 3 children.
How is Liberia? I know you just got home from Liberia. How is Liberia?
I hope it could be better, but we are managing there. Things are tough in Liberia. It is tough on professional people like us lawyers. So I can imagine the condition of life for the ordinary people. It is tough, but that's our country. That's the country that God gave us. And we have a collective responsibility to make it better, so we stay there.
Well, let us jump straight into it. A prominent Liberian said his message to the Liberian people is simple. Vote for any of the opposition candidates, but don't vote for President Weir. Why do you stand out? Why should Liberians elect you and not any of the other candidates?
Well, my life speaks for itself. I've been an advocate for good governance from the time I was a student at the University of Liberia, active in the Student Unification Party, on the editorial staff of the university spokesman, active in Movement of Justice for Africa, been to jail for what I stand for, work in government, and acted consistent with what I advocated for. I never put my hand in a cookie jar. We criticize government officials of being corrupt. Now, one of the reasons that Liberia has been backward has been because of corruption. There is nothing in government that makes anyone automatically corrupt. I tested it because I've held 3 government positions and I've not been corrupt. And that is what makes me stand up, because I've been prepared to die for what I believe. Nobody, I don't need to speak about myself. I've been standing up for what is right for Liberia at the risk of my life. There's no candidate in this race that can measure up to me in terms of track record of speaking and acting for the good of Liberia.
Your party, the LPP, does it have an internal democratic process for electing its standard bearers? How is it done? Have you been endorsed yet?
Yes, I'm now a standard bearer. We had a convention in Banga, and before the convention, the nomination process was open, and I was the only applicant, and I was elected. I hope someone had heard that one or two persons wanted to run, but I was surprised that during the election, during the convention, I was the only candidate.
Okay, folks, if you're just joining us, this is British Radio Africa. We have Councillor Tiawan Gongloe as our special guest tonight. Council, let's look at your platform.
You know, actually, you pronounce my name like you're a man because I actually how the name should be. It should be say Tiawan Gongloe. But I was, I went to school, I registered Tiawan say Gongloe, and I kept it that way. Because say, the way we name people in Mana, say is the first boy, and Ya is the second boy. So your rank is identified before you are given any name.
Okay.
So you are right.
I'm from right next door Grand Judah, so we don't fight for each other. Now, Council, let's take a look at your platform. What are the hallmarks and why you chose the priorities?
So I've been an advocate, I've worked in government, and I've seen the pitfalls. My platform is based on strengthening the rule of law, combating corruption, and expanding the economy to create jobs and to expand the revenue base so that government can generate money to provide social services such as good educational system, good health system, and the road network to provide food, to engage in rice production. I don't like to just talk about food because in Liberia, it is rice, so that government can help farmers to produce rice to end hunger in Liberia.
Well, Council, you've been in the terrain, like you said, for decades. And at a certain point in time, the last couple of years, you got so frustrated, you were angry to the point where you started making calls, not only to America, but to the international community, requesting for sanctions because you were so fed up with the way our resources were being looted. And people listened to your crowd. And sanctions came. I'm told sanctions are still coming. How did it make you feel?
Well, look, I don't want to take credit for all that. Yes, when I was president of the bar, in one of my speeches, I think on the International Law Day, I said because of the endemic corruption in Liberia, I was calling upon the international community to bring different measures, including travel restrictions, because people steal our money and travel abroad to spend it in Europe and America. I made that call in the presence of the EU ambassador and the American ambassador. But I don't want to take credit for, because I don't think I have that power. Nobody should give me so much power than I deserve, that I'm able to make America and Europe act. I think they acted on the basis of their own investigation. They may have looked that way because many people have spoken about the menace called corruption, the danger called corruption that is undermining good governance in Liberia, that is multiplying poverty. And they did their own investigation, and on the basis of the investigation done by United States, actions are being taken.
Well, on several occasions, we've heard you say, this task, this position of a president is too big for George Weah.
I still maintain that.
Okay. Why did you say that?
You know, I respect George Weah and will admire him forever for being a celebrated football player. He made all of us proud. But Ashford, I'm sitting on the other side of your microphone. I can never make the mistake to sit on your side because I have no training in that area. I have no experience in that area. So I'm a novice. I'm totally ignorant when it comes to your field. So I will never venture coming there. So in the case of our president, he had no public service experience except for the short time he spent in the Senate and when President Selig made him ambassador. But in terms of running government office, the executive branch of government, he had not even been an office boy in any office in the executive branch of government. You have to learn how government operates in order to be there. Governance in Liberia has challenged even the best educated and experienced. So it was unfair to himself, and I think the Liberian voters did so badly to give him a job that they know that he could not perform. Every aspect of governance is failing, whether it's in the health sector, it's in education, it's in food production, and the worst is the road condition. I feel sorry for my people of Grand Jida. I'm a Grand Jidan because they call me Puliyon, as my name is Grand Jida. That the whole southeastern Liberia, 6 months of the year is cut off from the rest of Liberia, as if penalizing them for voting for him because they voted for him almost 100%. How come they're having a worse situation where under his government, freedom of movement, which is a fundamental right, is an international claim, human rights to travel, to move. That freedom of movement is being denied the people of southeastern Liberia under this government. And he doesn't see it. So I usually say that Liberia is in the ICU, in the intensive care unit, in the emergency room, and a re-election of George Weah will actually be committing national suicide. I mean, the people of southeastern Liberia and the people of Lofa really bear the brunt of bad governance, of the high level of negligence that exists under his government.
Well, Council, who, in your estimation, has been the best president of Liberia that you may emulate or copy?
I don't want to go there, but I can take things from different presidents. I can take from President Tobo's integrated rural development program that included agriculture, farm to market road. He's going to work on time. He's disciplined government. I was on the university campus when President Tobo used to come to work 7:30. And then by 9 o'clock, you start patrolling government offices in Monrovia to find out whether ministers are going to work. That discipline, that intent to develop Liberia, he even started the free zone so that we can engage in import substitution and export promotion for value addition to our product. Those were good things. He invested in education. Perhaps without Tobo administration, I would not have gone to University of Liberia because I was paying $37.50. He reduced school fees for Liberian students and organized technical and vocational programs all over the country. He established multilateral schools in Zwerju, in Lofa, and other places so that people can get skills. And he captioned that by saying that he wanted to build a wholesome functioning society that everybody will be like. So President Tobo, in my view, was a better president than most presidents. He opened the door a little bit for freedom of expression, all right? Even though he jailed me for expressing myself against him, but to a large extent, he was more open when it comes to freedom of expression. I would take from Doe his investment in sports that created people like George Weah, Salinsa, Nangwe, Joe Nangwe. Over 10 international players came out of Liberia under President Doe. No one can take it from him. He invested in sports. He motivated the players, sometimes by putting them in in his open top car and driving them himself to the football field. It was honored though that we were able to beat countries like Ghana in any game. I would take that from you. I would take from President Salif she's established integrity institutions. You can't take that from her. Strengthening the GSC, having LSCC and all of that. We can't take that. We'll promote more of those institutions and make the existing ones function the way they were intended to function. We have the political will to make them function. We'll take from President Tubman unification, that all Liberians must be the same. The American Liberian, the indigenous Liberian, that we must be the same, because we cannot build our nation without being united. But the thing that makes unity difficult is the level of poverty that exists in the country. Because a man who has and a man who is poor cannot be speaking the same language. In order to promote true unity and reconciliation in Liberia, we must have good governance that will uplift all Liberians and protect them. That's why I keep saying that I believe that I want to run my government on the basis of 2 of the 10 commandments: thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not steal. That thou shalt not steal goes to fighting corruption. And thou shalt not kill is for the protection of Liberian citizens, not like what is happening now.
Well, next year will be year of election. We're going to go to the poll to elect the next president of Liberia. President Weah has been there now for a little over 5 years. What are some of the things, if you were to name 2 or 3 things that you give this president credit for what he's done since his ascendancy to the presidency, what would it be?
The one thing, I've said it over and over, is that he passed into law an act to repeal the 3 anti-speech laws: sedition, criminal libel against the president, and criminal malevolence. These laws were used for years, for decades in Liberia, maybe almost a century, to make it difficult to criticize government officials. And the only way citizens can participate in the governance of their country is to speak truth to power, to help to correct people in power. That is what democracy is about. Everybody does not have to sit in the office. The citizens who are outside can criticize officials of government so that it can change. That nobody can take from George Weah. Because I drafted that law when I was still in government. And I left government. The law was not passed. He had a political way. I'm happy that in the first year of his government in 2018, he passed that, because I can say without any fear of doubt that if that law had been denied, it would have been difficult to pass. Because by that time, the euphoria was still on. He did well in that respect.
Well, Council, there are others who are vying for the same position you are. We have Mr. Cummins.
You almost said Bromskin.
So rest in peace.
Yes.
Mr. Cummins, and we also have Ambassador Boykai. People are saying it's going to be difficult for one person to challenge George Weah and win these elections. Why don't you people come together as a team in collaboration to unseat this man? Because you want George Weah out, Cummins and Boykai, they all want him out as well. Why don't you people come together?
You know, the people who are making that statement that it will be difficult to defeat George Weah are probably not in Liberia, and if they are in Liberia, they are not reading the situation well. I usually say to people, I strongly believe George Weah cannot even win 5% of the votes in West Point. Because you know what? The conditions of the people in West Point has not changed. The conditions of the people in Monrovia have not changed. Because of that, he was beaten twice by Darius Dillon. I say he because he said in the first campaign, when Darius Dillon was running, and said Darius Dillon cannot win Monrovia. This is CDC territory. And the people in Monserrato County voted against him. Don't forget that Monserrato has high percentage of the citizens of Liberia from the 15 counties. And those people go back to their counties. What happened in Monrovia, in Monserrato County, represents the feeling of the Liberian people against George Weah's government. So he's already defeated. This election will be an election among the opposition candidates, really. Because George Weah is not a factor in this election. That's my reading, clearly. And it is shown by the way CDC was defeated in the 2020 election. To the extent that when the by-election happened in Lofa County, CDC had to actually go behind a former opposition politician to say, win for us. Because it would show our face as CDC in Lofa, we will not win. And my former party chairman, LPP, Joseph Jala, went as independent, supported by CDC, and he won. And right after he won, they said, okay, be CDC. So CDC did not win in Lofa. But that's the harsh condition for CDC all over the country. CDC cannot win. If CDC cannot win legislative seats, what more the president that they are angry with? Because the legislative candidates that don't win because of the alignment with President George Weah. He is a source of anger. When his name is mentioned anywhere in Liberia now, people get angry. For example, I can tell you, one of my supporters said the other day in Monrovia to a young man, she asked the young man, who are you going to vote for? He said, no, we're not voting for George Weah, we'll vote for any of the opposition political parties. And my supporter said, oh, but that's my time now to vote for George Weah. He turned around and said, you wicked, eh? You really don't love Liberia. You're a wicked man. How can you say, oh, let me walk away from you, sir? That your witchcraft thing, don't bring it here. And this young man was a young man who was campaigning for George Weah in Monrovia in 2017. I can tell you many of the young fellows who are supporting me now are from CDC.
Well, Council, numbers don't lie. Ambassador Boycott still stands at 26% from 2017. Cummings was at 7%. Now he's urging in third place. So Ambassador Boycott and George Weah are battling over the first place position. And Cummings is there. Where are you?
Well, it depends on which polls you're looking at, because some polls are put me number 1, some polls are put me number 2, some polls are put me number 3. In fact, one time in Monrovia on a poll on OKFM, I was way ahead of Mr. Cummings. But let me say this. If anybody thinks that the election results of 2017 are placed somewhere in the freezer and the voters are just there waiting to vote as they voted in 2017, then they are ignorant about human beings and the political process. Because people change by seconds. I'm not even talking about minutes. People are changing every day. Otherwise, CDC would not have been beaten in Monrovia, in Monserrato County. Otherwise, United Party would not have been beaten in Lofa. people are changing. And they are changing based upon the performance of the government in power, based upon the pronouncement that politicians make. They want to trust politicians who are consistent and who are prepared to stand up, die, or suffer for them. This advocate politician has been prepared to die for Liberia, miss opportunities. I resigned from a government because I didn't feel it was going the way Liberia should go. My records are clear. I'm different in terms of what I'm able to do for Liberians, and Liberians know that. They know me as a poor man's lawyer. They know me for speaking truth to power for more than 30 years of my life. They know I don't compromise when it comes to Liberian interest. So I have said, and I mean it, check the record, I'm going to win this election by 65% first round.
65% first round, Councillor Gongloe wins the election in 2023. Well,
Keep it.
We will be here watching. And by the way, this platform belongs to all of you. We are not on the side of any political party. We are for Liberia. We don't ask people for a dime to come on this platform. This platform is for you and for the Liberian people. You can come here anytime and share your views and tell us what you think about the country. And speaking of the country, Council, what do you make of some of the senseless killings in our country? I said a few days ago, 3 missing boys, and somebody said, no, the boys are not missing, the boys are dead. We heard about the dead auditors. You once served as Solicitor General. Do you think we've gotten answers from some of the killings that went on in our country?
No, we have not gotten answers. Because I don't think there is a political will from the top to seek answers and to hold people accountable. Look, in this country that you live in, and I visited many times, I was here on July 4th when a young man went and killed some people in the state of Illinois. The president of the country, Biden, spoke seriously against it. And even though the family members lost their children, the speech, the passion with which the president of the country spoke was consoling to the family members. The vice president spoke. The governor of the state spoke. The city mayor spoke. Police commissioner spoke. The entire government showed concern. And it is those kinds of concerns that then motivate police officers, the investigators to do everything to get to the bottom. But I've been in some of those cases, Princess Cooper. We couldn't hear from the police. I was representing our family. And then the young people got in the street demonstrating, we can't get answers. We are demonstrating the mother and everybody. And the police arrested them. I went to the police director and said, why are you arresting these people? You are under obligation to give them answers. It is their right to know. I say, what you should be doing every day is at a particular hour to speak to the public and say, we are investigating. We haven't gotten to the bottom, but we are still investigating. Hold on, be speaking to the people. And I say, so release the people. There's no justification for holding them. I intervened and all of them were released. He said, about 2 weeks ago, I spoke to them. I said, what? 2 weeks ago? Put yourself in their shoes. They want to have answers. So the lukewarm attitude of people in government, and you talk to the police, they say, we don't have logistics to investigate. But all of that is based on bad governance. When you have a president who really cares and say to the nation, police, you have to find what happened. We have to bring to justice whoever did this and speak about it every day, answers will be found. but it is most often it is treated in passing.
Well, folks, if you're just joining us, this is Ashford Gardy Live. It feels great to be back home. And we want to open up the telephone lines now. If you have a question for the council, we'll take at least 3 to 4 questions. The telephone number to call is 267-248-5295. That's 267-248-5295. I believe we'll have a fresh caller on the line. Hello, caller. Tell us your name.
My name is CSCI for calling from Minnesota.
Okay, go ahead. Ask your question, please.
Oh, well, Councilor Gongloe, I'm very impressed at your record and your message for the campaign. My question to you this evening is, how can people across the United States reach out to your contact person in each state of the U.S. in order to facilitate their mobilization within the diaspora?
Thank you.
Okay, so there's Dr. Emmanuel Camara who lives in Delaware. There are other groups. There's Joe Minnebread right there in Minnesota with you, Joe Minnebread. Talk to Dr. Sankman if you know any of them. These people live right there. In fact, I was just in Minnesota for a week. There was an event, fundraising event on Saturday at the Brooklyn Center Community Hall. And I don't know, maybe you didn't hear about it, but yes, there are people all over the place. You can talk to Tala Kuankpa, for example, right there in Minnesota.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. Hello, caller. Tell us your name, please.
My name is Ojugu Ntage. I'm calling from Rhode Island.
Okay, go ahead. Ask your question.
How you doing, Councilor?
Great.
Yeah, I'm so happy that people like you decide now to join the race. I hope that young people, they see racing to see that they bring credible people to our government. But I have a question for you.
Go ahead. It's gone.
For Nima County, doing your petitioner program, and you spoke about total economic, situation and progress you had in Liberia. And tonight again, you mentioned that again. But my question has to do with, why did you publicly condemn the coup against Togo? Because I started school during Togo time. During Togo time, we had our care food. Our system was there. We had a KRTD, our student used to come and choose program. And all of these things went down, and we all there because we did not understand the thing. But being in the intellectual world at the time and being a lawyer at the time, why you did not publicly condemn the coup when you're saying all of these good things about Togo? Thank you very much, Councilor.
Thank you.
All right, but let me answer quickly. First, historical facts. I was a student at the University of Liberia. I was president of the NIMA Student University Association. And when the coup happened, I was so opposed to the coup. Therefore, I didn't go to get a job in the PRC government as many of the students at that time. People who were working as committee chairs under me in the organization and some of them were special assistant to PRC members. I refused to take job under the PRC. Therefore, when I graduated, I took a teaching assistant job at the University of Liberia. And 6 members of the PRC were from NIMBA. There were not so many educated people at that time. We were few. I could have become assistant minister or anything in government at that time. I refused to do so because I believe in democracy and I strongly feel that the coup undermine our effort to build a multi-party democracy in Liberia. That's what we're fighting for. The year of the coup, 1980, the Moja had just had a convention, and we have passed a resolution that Moja should establish a political party to compete in the election in 1983. Because Toba said in 1983 he was stepping down and told the Tree Party to prepare for the election.
Okay, we have a 605 number.
So I was not a lawyer.
605 number. Tell us your name.
Hi, Mr. Gale. My name is Harrison Kinkawe, and I'm calling from Sioux, South Dakota.
Okay. One question, please.
Sir?
How you doing? How you doing, Tiawan? I have two questions for the counselor. Firstly, counselor, how you doing? I really appreciate
I'm fine.
the political ideology in Liberia. I watch it on the social media, and I see your demonstration on the social media. I see how you use broom to sweep corruption out of Liberia.
Ask your question,
When the
please.
Liberian people choose you as a president. Now, my first question is, Council, if you are successful in the presidency, will you be willing War and Economic Crime Code to support War and Economic Crime Code to come to Liberia? That's number one. Number two, Council, we see or we hear a lot of rumors of death occurring in Liberia, the three missing boys and princess, the auditors, and EPU officers. And all of those things are cases that is pending, or we don't see anything coming out of it. If you are susceptible to the presidency, are you willing to bring forth those cases and to find the perpetrator of those actors or those acts so that they can be brought to justice and be punished for that crime?
Thank you.
Are you promising the Liberian people that if you become president, all of those things that is happening in the country illegally, will you bring justice to those families, to those brothers and sisters? That's my question.
Thank you, sir.
I would just answer yes and say, let's go on. But let me say to you that the first thing on my agenda is strengthening the rule of law. So every law in our country, the Constitution and statute laws, every law passed by the legislature, including law on war and economic crime, will be fully implemented, by my government. Once the legislature passes a law, that law will be enforced. And so there's no question, there will be no selective justice, there will be no selective application of the law. I will not apply some law and leave some laws out. The other thing I would do, I would set up a commission inquiry to look back at all those mysterious deaths. Maybe by that time there will be answers, because those who are involved in the killing may be connected to those in power now and are shielded by them. But when we set up the commission inquiry, the truth will come out.
Thank you. Okay, we have three more questions, Council, and we have three people on the line. So each of them will ask one question. First, we want to go with this 641 number. It's the area code 641. Tell us your name. Ask a question, please. One question, please.
Yeah, I'll ask one question. My name is Harrison Bajebo. Before I ask question, I just want to make a little bit of statement. And this statement is that Liberia is economically strength related. Now, we don't have good role. And I heard the councilor talking about freedom of movement. It's a human right. And I think education, the issue of education in Liberia should also be considered as a human right issue. Because education is the way power, is this knowledge. And people put in first grade students, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, innocent children out of classes is one thing that I'm worried about. But, Councilor Gongloe, my question to you is, if you become president, what you think you can do for Liberia to be economically mature, economically empowered?
Okay, look, let me say something about education.
Be able to have a bank of bank of heaven to deal with it, kind of huge salaries.
Thank you.
Well, legislators, some of them, you know how much I check it? They are making $190 more, $1,000 a year. And at the same time, in addition to that, people are taking $30,000 for legislative projects.
Thank you, sir.
Okay?
Thank
so
you.
With all the kind of huge salary, how are we going to go ahead with development in the country and be able to solve the problem of illiteracy in our country?
Thank you, sir.
So let me generally say my government will emphasize upliftment of the people from the bottom, ordinary citizens. My government will make majority of the Liberians so comfortable and make the minority that you are speaking about, lawmakers and all these people, so uncomfortable. Because this president will not sign any document for lawmakers to receive $1 more than their salary to talk about $30,000.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to me. Now, one of my government children, Liberian children, will go to school free from kindergarten to 12th grade because the child who is being left out, in fact, the children who are being left out, may be our scientists tomorrow. Maybe they are the ones that are best endowed in terms of brains to be our scientists, to be our neurosurgeons and all of that. But because their parents are poor, they are not going to school. We are not going to let poverty be a reason for any child not going to school. We are going to also, you didn't talk about health. We are going to also make sure that all pregnant women get free medical treatment because Liberia is among the 10 countries that record the highest rate of maternal mortality. So we're going to stop our women from dying. Free medical treatment. The children under 5 years will also get free medical treatment, and the Liberian citizens 65 years up will get free medical treatment. And we'll put road building machines in all the countries so that the roads are maintained and freedom of movement is maintained because it's an obligation of government to protect that right of freedom of movement.
Okay, we have 914.
We have
503. Tell us your name. One question, please.
We have time, you know that.
Yeah.
Calling from New York.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
Listen, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Now, Councilor, you wouldn't take that 3 shot. The 3 of them will ask the question, and you answer it because you run out of time. Okay.
All right. Good.
So 914, please. 914. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Frederick Linian calling from New York. I was listening to the.
Please ask the question. I'm running out of time. Please ask the question.
So how will I answer a question if I cannot?
I said ask your questions. Ask your question, sir.
I will not be able to answer a question. Like
Okay,
that.
thank you. We have a 215 number. Please ask a question if you listen to the show.
Hello.
Yeah, tell us your name and ask your question, please.
Yes. My name is Mustafa Suni. I'm calling from Pennsylvania. My question to Councilor Gongloe. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. My question to Councilor Gongloe is that I've been following politics in Liberia. Nobody is saying that you are corrupt. Same thing about Joseph Boakai. So I have no doubt the two of you joint team, you can really have those government officials presently and the previous government officials audited. For the sake of the country, will you please join force with Joseph Boakai so that for the sake of the country, we can vote this government out? Because the corruption is too much for us to be saying, oh, you are coming for your own interest and not in the interest of the country. So
for the sake of the country, please join Boakai. That's a question. Thank you. For the sake of the country, please join Boakai. That's his question. The last caller from 617. Tell us your name. Ask the question, please.
Yes, Brother Gali, this is Emmanuel Jackson from Boston.
Hey, Emmanuel, how you doing?
Yeah, what would be the approach of Councilor Gongloe to really bring Liberians back home from the diaspora? Because as you can see now, there's a huge green drain in the country, and we would need a leader who would be able to encourage Liberians to return home. How would he go about doing that?
That's a very good question. Let me start from the bottom, really. Because you see, I've been in America, and the concerns of Liberians here who even want to go back, they want to make sure that there's good educational system for the children and the grandchildren who go to school. They are concerned about the health system. They are concerned about the security in the country. So these are the things we'll fix. And obviously, when we do that, we attract Liberians to come back, and we can assure them of their security, of good education, of good health system, so that they don't have to go to Ghana or be flown out of the country as it has happened now, to some government officials. I hear the finance minister is somewhere in Turkey. We need to fix our health system. It is doable. That's why I say a better Liberia is possible and will call upon Liberians to come and help. In the first month of our government, we'll call a national conference and bring Liberian experts home and lay before them what we intend to do for the country. Some may agree to stay and work in the government. We need them. We need our Liberian experts abroad. And the other question about collaboration. Now, this question about collaboration. I'm running to be president. I've been elected as presidential candidate from my party. Mr. Bwaka is a presidential candidate for his party. So the two parties can talk. Maybe if the personality it can end up being my vice president, or I end up being a vice president. But that should be based on our agreement on the problems in the country and the solutions. But I strongly believe, I already said I can win this election 65%. Trust me, I will come on your show in January, in November 2023 and say, I told you I was going to win by 65%. Because I am the only candidate that is identifying the problems and showing the solutions. Nobody wants to take the risk. I'm opening myself to the Liberian people. These are the problems. These are the ways I want to solve it. By the way, I will send you my 10-point agenda for a better Liberia by email after we speak.
Well, Council, I know you have a very tight schedule. Thanks for appearing at a very short notice. And perhaps next time you would take the full... the full
90 minutes, I would love to appear on your show.
People are
I've been seeing you for a long time. By the way, you look so handsome.
Thank you.
I've done well for you.
Thank you, Council. Well, folks, that was considered Tiawan Gongloe on British Radio Africa tonight, making his presence felt. He wants to be the next president of Liberia. And you heard him regularly tonight. He said he's going to win by 65% first round. We'll take a few more calls, and then Mrs. Roberts, myself, with the wrap up and the show tonight. But we have Dodi on the line. Benoit is on the line from Iowa.
Yeah, but I want to ask Big Brother, but he left.
Oh, he's back.
This is what I want to say to Honorable Gongloe. Say Tiawan Gongloe. Liberia and Liberians are yearning for leadership. He said he's going to win this election by 65% first round. No go, no comeback. Or men dropping, men moving. But my appeal to him, we know he said way back that he would never ever work with Alexander Kumesh, unquote. He said it. If he were online, I was going to ask him that question. There are two men with great integrity. Liberians are yearning for leadership. Will they, or will he, put away all egos, at least the men who in the lead in every other poll in the Republic of Liberia, to join him to work together as a great two citizens with integrity in the Republic of Liberia to bring our country back to map. That way would be better. But actually, in Liberia for now, no one political party can stand and say, I am going to win. Although we have never had one to say, I alone going to win besides 1985, that we were cheated, Liberians were cheated. But for now in Liberia, if those politicians don't come together, men that Tiawan say Tiawan Gongloe, to come and say, you know what, don't put everything aside. Not all works together.
But Benoit, perhaps he knows what he's talking about. He just said that those who think that he cannot win are living somewhere else and not in Liberia. But for what he sees not in Liberia, he's sure that he will win by 65% in the first round.
Listen, I'm from Nema. My big brother from Nema. They are the elders now. When Justice when Jackson Fairdo said way back in the 70s, not even in the 70s, early 70s or in the 70s or 69, Nimagudum, when he spoke that English to the Pisco, they look for that English word in dictionary. They never found that thing up to now. Mr. Tiawan Gongloe now, he's one of the Nimagudum. He's one of the Nimagudum. For us to take our country back on the map. Every pool, you see, Ashwa, let me say something quickly. I remember 1997, you killed my pa, you killed my ma, you killed my son, you eat my cow, you eat my chicken, I will vote for you.
Yeah.
There comes 20.
When they say you kill my cow and eat my
You
chicken.
support war. You support war. You don't support war. I will support you. They made Ellen president of the Republic of Liberia. Comes 2016 to 2017, 2016, 2015, 2016. They say you know book. You don't know book. We will vote for you. They made George Weah president today. Now God has time for every other living creature on earth. The same Liberian people, they are saying, whether you owe, whether you can sleep, whether you can do this, we will vote you. You understand what I'm saying? You know, there was opinion poll conducted in Kakata with OKFM. The people asked if there was elections today, who are you going to vote for? 23 for Josh Weah, 12 for Alexander Cummings, and 26 or 27 for Joseph Boakai in Kakata. Every opinion poll. This is how we vote in Liberia, though. This is how we vote in Liberia. This day, I want all the politicians and to my brother. Let them talk to one another. The Jeremiah Wapo, the Yombli Kanga, the say Tiawan Gongloe, all of these people. I knew very well Mr. Ure came up and said, I don't want to be vice president. I don't want to be president. I'm only supporting Joseph Boakai. Let these people go together. Let them form a very unique team.
Thank you,
brother. Will go and take this man off. We have them. I don't know where Liberia is now on the map. I don't really know. Let them go together. Then they support the old man. Then all of them go and say, you know what, Papi, just clear the text for us. We will fix it. That way, 2029.
Thank you, brother.
Some of us, some of them will get clear road, clean paved road. Through that woman, they will say, no, you're not doing this way. This is a woman legacy. And just not cut this thing off and unite our country and build 175 years old country. Look at Rhode Island. Look at the little place that I live here, Iowa.
Thank you, Dodi.
Look at all of Lodi, man. No, this can hurt me, man. Thank you very much for taking me.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, folks, again, we want to say thanks to Councillor Gongloe for taking up time to join the platform tonight. And shortly we'll be getting out of here and to get ready for the political soccer game on Friday. But just before then, I want to have a little chat with my team, my co-host, Mrs. Roberts, and of course our technical guy sent for. Listen, Bridge Radio is back and is back for serious business. We're open up to all the political actors, and we're also open for business. If you have a business out there, then you want us to promote your business, all you have to do, reach out to us on the on our Facebook page, the website, and we will be glad to to serve you as well. Firstly, I want to say thanks to the love and support that I received since we got back on the air. I mean, folks from various camps. I mean, the CDC, the opposition, they all have welcomed me with open arms, and I'm grateful. I'm honored to be back to serve you all on this platform. You know, like we always said, tough times don't last. Tough people do. Have mine. My challenge of tough times, from domestic issue to illness, and to be quite honest with you, there were times where I asked God to restore my voice because I was in a very tough situation. I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk, and I was there lying down in the ICU, and in the state of Pennsylvania, and in Philadelphia, the Penn Medicine Hospital. There's a Liberian guy called Boyka Rabbits. I think he holds a master's in nursing, and he was at the hospital, and the nurses and doctors said that there's a guy in there from Africa, perhaps he's from Liberia, it's Ashford. So he came, he didn't know me, but he heard me on the radio many years before we came to the States. So God used this brother. Through him, we have 17 plus doctors and nurses. I mean, all white. This guy was the only black, and he happened to be from Liberia. And I'm running out of oxygen, and they were trying to resuscitate me and every in the ICU, and the guy kept calling my name, Ashford, and I was leftlet. But they kept pushing, stay in the ICU for 5 days, the 6 days, and then I started to feel strong. I'm like, what's going on? So I said, you mean I was ready to go in? But God brought me back for a reason. I mean, and He has actually strengthened my voice because I never had voice, I never had legs to walk. And brother Boyka Roberts, God used him, got to the doctors. Those doctors I'd never met before, never knew them, but they saw somebody fighting for his life, and they needed to help save that person's life. And on March 4th, I was released from the hospital. And ever since then, I'm like, God, I ask you to restore my health. I ask you to give me my voice back. And I will continue to praise you, to tell you thank you. And the reason why you brought me back is because you still have something for me to do for you and the people. So, folks, there are a lot of you that prayed for me. And I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to my children, and my friends, my brothers. You know, I've got some good friends, who actually looked out for me. My friend Philip Woods couldn't come to the hospital, but his wife went to the hospital. I mean, she was the only person that went to the hospital, and they call her Kolu. Kolu went to the hospital, visited me, and she took a card to the hospital. Well, folks, I am a living testimony to let you know that God can answer prayers. He did it for me. And for the plus year and a half, 2 years, I've been out of the media. I came back just a few days ago, and it appeared as if I didn't leave. That's a blessing. And again, I'm grateful to all of you. I'm grateful to our fans. I'm grateful to Liberians in general. I'm grateful to the people of Philadelphia. I'm grateful to some of my big brothers and sisters who have been there for me. Uh, Eugene Dean Wilson, Idatus Adit, Jack Norman, Mrs. Brooks Roberts, uh, Grace Gore, Lois Scott, uh, Alfred Anderson, you name it. I don't want to continue to call names because I would lose track, but most especially that brother from the Penn Medicine Hospital, Boyka Roberts. We didn't know me from anywhere, but you heard the name Ashford Gotti before, many decades ago in Liberia. And remember, it was the same brother from Liberia fighting for his life. And God used him, speak to the doctors. And today, here I am on the very platform that I love to be on because God gave me a second chance to be here. And with that, I give all the praises to God. I give him glory. Uh, we magnify his name for giving us second chance. And I want to publicly say to those who we have some way somehow offended. We want to say sorry if we ever offended you before. We want to apologize for what we've done to you in the past. Uh, please find it in your heart to forgive us. For those of you who've done us wrong, we're forgiving you because you have to learn how to forgive. If you can't forgive, you
Wow.
will have it, according to someone, you will have it in your heart that you want to take person or take a person, hoping that that person will die when you take that person, when you're so angry with somebody. But you have to let go. You know, I have been through some tough times, but I had to forgive myself and forgive the people who've done those things to me. And I have actually become a better person from a year and a half, 2 years ago. Yeah, I am for a whole year walking 10 miles a day, in the best shape of my life for my age. Uh, Next January, make it a year. I've been alcohol free, and it's a blessing. When I get up and I can actually uh, say thank you to the men above, and you know where I don't even miss the alcohol anymore, and all I do is just stay at home and work, go to church, and practice my craft. To go to the gym. That's one of my hobbies now. And I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Uh, and I want to say thanks to the staff, especially for Bob Bowley. Bob Bowley is the managing director of British Radio Africa. He's based out of Liberia. Uh, and I mean, he has been very instrumental. He's been there every step of the way, keeping the guys in Liberia informed about the platform. And Mrs. Brooks Roberts, she's been very loyal to this entity, and we appreciate her for what she's done and continue to do for the platform. Our man, Sanford Roberts, is also here. I want to thank him as well. And Julius Jensen and the rest of the crew in Liberia, I want to thank you. And Letty, you might want to say something. The Sanford, Bob Bullet, go ahead, speak. Mrs. Robert.
Bob, or I can go. Okay. You know, Ashford, I'm so happy to hear you tell your story. And God, that's what God wants. It's a testimony. It amazes me because just this week I was asking, when people are in such state, do they hear? Do they hear what the other people are talking to them? And you just answer that question after all these experiences that we have with people dying or people in critical condition, and you're here to answer that question. So I want to bless God for you. I didn't even know you were giving your testimony today. I wanted to read the 7 rules of life. One of the 7 rules is to smile. It always works out in the end. Be kind. You have the power to make people feel good. Don't give up. If it doesn't work the first time, find another way. Don't compare. Everyone is on a different journey. Avoid negativity. Avoid negative thoughts, situations, and negative people. Make peace with your past. You didn't know this. You see how the universe is working?
That's right.
None of this, everything you just did is exactly the 7 rules of life. Make peace with your past. Lastly, take care of your body and your mind. One struggles to survive without the other. So if you don't take care of your body and your mind, something suffers. You have summed it all up in your testimony. I want to thank you. I want to thank God that I kept in touch with you, because people love you and they wanted to know what was going on with you. I wasn't privy to all of the nitty-gritties. However, I knew you kept in touch with me, and I would say to them, he's coming. I guess that was faith. And you are here. And you will do great things.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Thank you, lady. Sinful.
Yes, Ashra, good evening to everyone. Thank you once again for inviting me, and I'm honored to form part of this unique institution. When I first met you, when we started interacting, and my first time meeting you in Liberia, I remember it was 2019 or 2020, I guess, one of those. 2020, right? Yeah, and that, and then we also was in a room with Bullet. That was my first time meeting Bullet as well, and it was fun, and the energy and the vibes, and it felt like we have been knowing each other for decades, and that moment gave me some sort of a feeling about your interaction, your relationship with people. And so, I bless God for you, some of the things that you went through, and I'm glad to see you back on the show. And I guess everyone, if the Breach Radio family, the fans, they are all excited and bless God for you. And another thing, just a few weeks ago, a couple of days ago, by the way, I was working and then I just had this chest pain, and then for one reason to the other, I end up in the emergency. So, as God would have it, they did all my tests, everything was okay. It just I was feeling something that is not left threatening. So I just say that to say that sometimes you can talk to somebody in the next few minutes, it's something else, right? And so you were gone for almost 2 years. Everybody kept wondering. The chat room kept being silent, and at some point people would ask questions and we respond, and there was some information about things. We would come back, Breach Radio would come back, and things has been and since you contacted me about, hey, we need to get ready and go back online and broadcast to the people. It was an exciting moment for me, because that is where people get their facts from, and also the comedy, the political soccer thing. Those are unique things to Breach Radio, and people love to hear those and it brought some sort of excitement, and I'm very much honored to serve. And so again, I want to thank you. excuse excuse me, in whatever way I can, to keep this platform going. Uh, and I also urge the followers, the fans, the Facebook page is there, the Cash App, to keep this page going. We also plan to go live in Liberia on local radios. So just keep the support going,
Yeah.
and and I'm very much grateful for your help, Ashra. Thank you.
Yes. Again, folks, this platform is for Liberia. Uh, it is for all of Africa. Is for Liberians and Africans as well. It's for the politicians that want to do well for the country. We would not be asking politicians to come here to pay money to appear. You can come. The platform is yours. But we will be asking the common people, the you that watch the program all the time, the $1, your $2, we appreciate it. You can decide whether you want to make a monthly donation. We appreciate that. In the case of our sister, she just sent me the text and said, Ashford, I will give a monthly donation of $200 to Bridge Radio for the upkeep of the platform. These things cost money, and it's one man funding them now. And we times are hard. Especially when you just getting back on your feet. And we have a brother, El Yango. He made a donation today of $150. We want to appreciate him for that. And to all of you, the voices of Lawal Azul, Charles Russell, Yumutro Krenga, uh, uh, and the rest of the people that continue to show us love on this platform. Keep the donation going, because it is you that will make it happen for us, and we promise to do what we have to do to inform, entertain, and of course, educate you in some way, somehow, about things that you don't know about. Our crew on the ground, we are going to be very instrumental comes these elections in Liberia, uh, and our guys, like the day in 2020 for the special elections, we worked our butt off, and of course, you heard everything on Bridge, Bob Bolid and a crew, I think Sanford Rabbits was in Liberia at the time, and we had a very splendid time there, so, hey, the politicians will come and go. They will at times lie to you, and by the time they get there, they do something else. The thing is, when you start to take money from these people, then they own your voice. God didn't restore my voice for me to limit myself to just one political party or one politician. My voice is bigger than any political party in Liberia. My voice is bigger than the politicians in Liberia. That's why I am the golden voice. That's why I am Africa's media doobie doo extraordinaire.
All
That's why
right
I am
now.
the medicine of the microphone. And,
All
and
right
that's why
now.
I am the broadcast commissioner. I say this with no tricks, no sound effect, no special effects. You know, the gift is from God. The microphone does not make your voice sound any different. When I say this is Ashford Gongloe, that's the voice He gave me. And when at certain point in time I couldn't hear the voice, I asked God to restore my voice, and He said, "Ashford, I'm coming for you. You still have some talking to do, and we are going to give you the voice that you need to talk to your people." And we're glad to be here. So, folks, with that said, I want to say a big thanks to all of you as we call this a night. We will be back on Friday, and we said Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays because Tuesday and Thursdays we have to go hustle. When we start to get some old donation and contribution, then we would try to come in on a daily basis. Want to say thanks to Phillips E. Woods. He said expect a monthly donation for 12 months of $100. Thanks, Philly, for your contribution. And I know there are several affiliates out there. You can do this. We're counting on you. Help us change our country. Help us speak for you on behalf of our country, and let us put the right people in power, people that really mean well for the country, because Liberia has always been on the giving end, and these people can use and abuse us. Most of them politicians, they were asked to use your expertise and talent. You give it to them. By the time they get into power, they turn their back on you, and then you will have to be faced with the same question again. Can you help me? This time we're helping Liberia. We're helping Liberians. We're helping the people of Liberia, and not the selfish politicians. Those that mean well for the country, we'll scrutinize them, we'll see where they fit, and we'll put them in power, and that's what we're going to do. All right? Okay, so, and then final saying, Mrs. Roberts, but firstly, before I call Ms. Roberts, I want to say a big thank you to a very special friend and partner. This lady has been there for me every step of the way. She's my praying partner, and on a day where I'm so down and I can't seem to get it together, she will be there for me. And she said, listen, put your faith in God and not man. You can do this. You have the potential. Listen to people and work with them when they have potential. And they might not be 100%. But when you see the low potential, when you see something good in that person, try to bring the good out of the person. And I'm getting help, not financial help, but I'm getting help that I needed, that I didn't have for the many, many years I have been here. And I'm beginning to see them come out, see this lady help me out to be me, help to bring the good out of me. And I just want to appreciate her for what she's done and continue to do. May God continue to bless her family, her sisters, her brothers, and she's such a great person. She's such a great person. I appreciate her a whole lot. Letty?
That great person is to be announced.
Well, we announce at a subsequent time.
Exactly. And that's exactly, because I know, inquiring minds want to know. So I'm just putting it out there. In subsequent time, you will know. I want to say thank you to all of you. But Mr. Gongloe, before I go, just in case the counselor Gongloe is listening, the poor man lawyer, the justice advocate, I want to know what is his take on the diaspora Liberians that have filed a case that we may be able to vote. Those that have, that want to vote in the elections. It's a detailed story which is on Front Page Africa that was filed by the Cindy Martin, Francine Chenoweth, and few other ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to know, because as you know, we all are here, and we want to be part of the conversation. We are the ones that are sending these remittances every day. When you look at, we have all these now MTM. People are not even carrying money anymore. They're using those direct cash that we are sending to do their daily purchases. So our voices matter, and that's why I ask, just as you have asked, that you support this platform so we can go into 15 counties. The Cash App and the Zelle numbers are up there. Please do support so that we can be sustained. Thank you, Mr. Garley, for having me. I thank you for just considering me to come back with you, because it was just recently this year that me and you met. We formed this bond and we didn't even know each other, right?
Was on June the 18th.
Correct. And so it's possible if we have built something. Well, you built it, but I joined it. If we can do that together, imagine the impact we can make on our country if we have the opportunity to go and help do things. if I have time and I can contribute something, and so many other people in the diaspora. I heard Mr. The aspirant speak about that, so I am hoping that he fights with us on that diaspora to vote in Liberia elections. I thank you. Thank you to the manager, Bob Boley. Thank you to the producer, of course, and all of you, Sanford, and all of you in Radio Land, cyberspace, all of our listeners. Thank you for welcoming the giant back.
Thank you.
Thank
And thank you to Mr. Gibson Jerry. Thank you to Edith Gongloe. Thank you to Philip Woods for making it possible to have the counselor on, Councilor Gongloe. And folks, all those who contributed to my team, my research team, and the whole 9 year. Want to say a big thank you. Enjoy the rest of the night. Dempster Greer, how you doing? Evangeline Hill, Josh Medge, Jackie Medge, and Joy that says, I also see Gracious, Corentin Goa, Patience Seman, Edwin Freeman, Moses, Woods Philip, Johnson Sandolo. It's been a long time, my brother. Thomas Bassaret, Bruce and Myers, my vice principal from Worcester many years ago. Augustine Bondo, Helen Brown, Sia Miatat, CNN David, Nana Smith, Ansu Dukley, Bob Bowley, D. God Grades is also here. My sister, how you doing? My hard working and hard praying sister, Joseph Binding, is also on here. Austin Carpet, my man, what's happening, bro? It's been a minute. I saw you and your lovely wife a few months ago at the wedding anniversary. Yeah, it was my first time getting in touch with you. Austin Carpet and Big Brother Jerome Verdier the second. Yeah, thank you so much, folks. That's all the time we have to be with you. God willing, look out for the political soccer game on Friday of this week. Until then, please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man. Tough times don't last. Tough people do. The height of a man is never known until he rises, because there's no second chance to make that first impression. Don't see okra and swallow bone. You can't hide your nakedness from bathing bucket. When God bless you, don't see that medicine. Africa's media do extraordinaire. The giant, the medicine of the microphone, the golden voice of Liberia, the broadcast commissioner. As for the giant, and now you know me, Garland. Have a good night.
One more time. Ma boutique, si va pas bien,